In March of 1996, people in Penfield were seeing red about an orange-colored store that wanted to move into the neighborhood. Dave McKinley looks back in News 8 then.
10 years ago this week, people in Penfield came out in force decrying a national retailer's plans to move into Panorama Plaza.
We don't want any change.
It's not good.
I understand some of their concerns.
Pop quiz, what new store were these Penfielders so peeved about coming into their town this week in 1996? 20 years ago this week, in the days of full-service gas stations, Bell supermarkets, frequent protests over U.S. involvement in Nicaragua, and when Bruce Williams was still really popular on the radio, work began on a massive reconstruction of Main Street downtown, one which would take $20 million and nearly 3 years to complete after it got underway this week in 1986. 30 years ago this week, when you could park downtown for only 15 cents an hour or just $1 a day, when visits to inmates at the county jail were still strictly of the no-contact variety, and when the Hanover houses, the closest thing Rochester ever had to the project, still hovered over the city's north side, home economists were in a quandary amid a nationwide shortage of canning jar lids. Oh, and providing entertainment at Kidney Telethon 76? Well, now that appears to be Bob of That 70s Show, some 30 years ahead of his time this week in 1976. 40 years ago this week, when it was still commonplace to see a fire truck roll up with a Dalmatian on board, the War Memorial was transformed into one bonanza of a bowling hall as the world's biggest kegling event, the American Bowling Congress Tournament, came to Rochester. For 2 months, those 40 temporary lanes would stay put to accommodate the more than 20,000 bowlers who would attend. These days, on average, the ABC attracts 60,000 bowlers over 6 months, and by some estimates has an economic impact of up to $100 million for the city lucky enough to land it. And for the record, it has not been back here once since this week in 1966, or as we like to say, since the days of News 8 then.
And the pop quiz answer, Home Depot. Home Depot did eventually open a Penfield store, but only after switching the proposed location to the former site of Panorama Bowl and agreeing to drop the trademark orange roof from the store's design.